Good afternoon. Good af- Yes, sir. Yeah, I've just sent it to you. I will tell you to because I'm not very confident whether I'll be able to do that from here. So that's why I sent it to you. Whether it's possible for you to screen share from your side? No, I sent it. No, I've sent to Chaitanya on WhatsApp. Yeah.
Sir, I have already WhatsApped you. A very good afternoon to all the participants. The session will start within 5 minutes. Please wait. Uh, we are setting the PPT, so just wait for 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, the session will start.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone who has joined here in the virtual meet. A warm welcome to you all to the 5 days faculty development program on stress management in education sector organized by Milagris College in association with the IQAC. So we are here for the fifth day of the faculty development program. Today we will be knowing about promoting positive mental health to educators in college. We have Dr. Supriya Hegde as our resource person. Heartily welcome to you, ma'am. I request Ms. Soumya Pai, lecturer, Department of BSc ID, to formally welcome everyone and to introduce our resource person for today.
Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to warmly welcome our guest speaker who have generally agreed to share their expertise with us, Dr. Supriya Hegde Arun. To know more about students and consultant psychiatrist at Arogya Clinic, Funny Road. She completed her MBBS from KMC Manipal in 2001 and MD Psychiatry from KMC Manipal 2005. She is a gold medalist in Manipal University 2005. She got some of the awards like DS Raju Award for Best Paper Presentation in October 2003, Good Teacher Award at KMC Mangalore in 2012, SS Jairama Award 2012, Lady Lions Award Women in Action Health for year 2021. With such a distinguished background and a passion for helping others, it's our immense pleasure to welcome today's speaker, Dr. Supriya Egde Arur, to the Faculty Development Program. We welcome you, ma'am. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our Reverend Father Michael L. Santamayor, the Principal of Milagres College, Mrs. Chetana Kumari, IQAC Coordinator, Mr. Denzel Costa, Assistant IQAC Coordinator, the organizers who made this program possible, and most importantly, all the aspiring participants of this faculty development program. Welcome you all.
A heartily welcome to you too, ma'am. We will be beginning our session now. I request Dr. Supriya Hegde to take over the session.
Am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am, you're audible, you're audible.
So at the onset, I would like to thank the organizers, Milagres College, and let's hope this faculty development program are able to enrich some of your knowledge and live up to your expectations on positive mental health. So, as a psychiatrist, we see a lot of people with mental disorders, and what we are trying to do is people are so stressed out, and most of these illnesses, psychiatric illnesses, we see that they can be precipitated by stress. So, the one of the major aspects of developing and promoting positive mental health is to manage stress. Along with that, I will share some other tips for you for keeping a healthy mind and a healthy body. Because we are all on online, anytime if you feel that you're not able to hear me or not able to understand me, you can probably use this raise a hand icon, I think, which is there on the lower part of your uh, system, and then we can begin at that point of time. So, are you able to follow? Are you able to hear me? Can one of the organizers chip in?
Yeah, ma'am, it is audible.
Yes. So, my next slide. So when the question that I normally ask my the things which really hampers our mental health. Next slide. Stress can be of various kinds. For example, getting late for a meeting can be a distress. Getting promoted can be a positive stress called as eustress. And sometimes when you have like something really bugging you for a long time, which can affect your mental health, is chronic stress. And this is one of the major reasons why mental illnesses like depression and anxiety disorders are. Next slide. So imagine that you're holding a bottle of 1 liter in your hand. Okay. Stress is something like that. If you hold it for a little while, it doesn't really bother you. But if you were to hold this bottle for like, hours together, it would really boggle you down. So when we talk about stress management, we actually teach people how to handle their stress well and promote positive mental health. Next slide. So how does one identify that there is something wrong with my mental health? Next slide. So people who have issues regarding their mental health can have different things happening to their brain. For example, they can have memory problems. They can't remember things easily. They get confused. They can have difficulty making decisions. They don't know what to do. They want this. They know that this thing is not good for them, but they still continue it anyways. They can't concentrate and they're always confused. Next slide. When somebody has a problem with mental uh, health, they can also have a lot of emotions boggling them down. They can become moody, they can become hypersensitive, very anxious, so sad, very angry, snapping at people, and very resentful, just hating everybody around them. Next slide. Stress. So if you look at mental issues, it doesn't stay at that. It starts affecting the body as well. So people who are stressed and do not have good mental health can have headaches, more digestive problems, more muscle tension, always something or the other is aching, difficulties in falling asleep, always having fatigue. And when they go to the doctor, they're shocked that their BP is shot up, their sugars are shot up, and they can develop uh, gastroesophageal reflux disorder and keep falling sick all the time. Next slide. So, people who have difficulties with mental health also indulge in behaviors which can be defeating in nature. For example, they can overeat or undereat, sleep disturbed. They stay till 4 a.m. Scrolling their phone, and then they can't wake up in the morning. They isolate themselves from others and they neglect responsibilities which are important for their survival. And those who take alcohol and smoking increase their dose because they are not having good mental health. Even things like nail biting, pacing, fidgeting, skin picking, hair pulling, all of these things could be an indication that somebody is stressed out. Next slide. So, when somebody talks about promoting positive mental health, we have to identify where my problem is coming from. Many a times, adults will come to us and talk about how they are not happy, they are not satisfied, life is not good, everything has got stuck in a random cycle. So we try to figure out what's bothering them. Many times it's loneliness. They don't have anybody to share their life with. So they would be at a juncture in life where they may have people around them or may not have people around them. They may be staying in hostels. The marriage is getting delayed. There could be so many reasons. Second is boredom. Nowadays, everybody wants instant gratification. So it's so easy to get bored. Many of the youngsters, if you talk to them, they'll say, "How are you?" "Oh, I'm bored." So it has come to that. So many times, stress can come out of this. Then, third most important things that I would look at teachers is work-related stress. So I'm a teacher in a medical college. I know how it is. Many times, work becomes repetitive and monotonous and boring, and we are doing the same thing year after year, year after year, year after year. It becomes difficult actually to keep the enthusiasm on. So maybe it is coming from that. Then many important thing among all people nowadays is relationship issues. We live in a web of complicated relationships. So we have a person with whom we are sharing our life with, and then we have people online who are virtually our friends or well-wishers. And we live in a very make-believe world these days. Then there could be financial problems causing stress. Sometimes because we are also hooked to the mobile and things like that, we're not sleeping well, and that could be causing stress. Lifestyle issues, not exercising, sedentary habits, all of that can cause stress. And if we are used to taking substances like alcohol and smoking, excess use of that can cause a problem in our mental health. Another thing that we see now and was not there earlier is a lot of gaming disorders. So internet gaming is a new disorder, especially post-COVID. So many adolescents and even adults are hooked to their gaming consoles. And a combination of these factors can cause stress and difficult mental health. Next slide. So this is a slide I prepared specially for you. Okay. So have a look at it carefully. You can take a snapshot if you want. So as teachers, what causes difficulty in our mental health and how to promote it? One thing that I already spoke is that our job is very repetitive. So we are teaching the same subject, we are teaching every year, and we are teaching everything same over and over again to batch after batch. So it becomes monotonous. So how to promote or prevent this kind of monotony will be? Any answers? My job is monotonous. I am a teacher. I teach psychiatry to postgraduates every year. For the last 10 years, I'm doing it in Padimala. It gets boring sometimes. So how do I overcome that? yeah, we have to innovate. So we have to look at newer ways of teaching. For example, in my last class, what I did is I made one of my juniors make a Google form and made 10 MCQs, and I sent it to the class monitor an hour before the lecture, and we all solved the MCQs in the class, and then we send them an email feedback later. So excellent. So we can innovate. And second comes salary issues. Yeah, somebody said changes in teaching. So we need to change our style of teaching. One of my seniors, many years back, he told me that, Supriya, why don't you do some role play in the class? So I started doing that. So in clinical classes, I started behaving, mimicking the patient. So it really made the class very exciting. So sometimes we can do that. Any other suggestions? This one just popped out on the chat box. So that's what we need to try new things. If you do the same thing again and again, it becomes really boring. The second is salary issues. I feel teachers in India are really underpaid everywhere. So if you look at the countries like Germany, the highest paid profession is that of a teacher. But in our country, unfortunately, in all branches, we are underpaid, and that causes a lot of other frustration coming on from other aspects, because we are not able to have a good quality of life, or not able to have more luxuries, and a lot of frustration because of that. And we are already we have to look at other sources of income to supplement our lifestyle. Does anybody disagree on that we are underpaid? So yeah, so the audience is with me here that we are underpaid. Third is we sandwich between management and parents. So teachers, at one end you have to show the results to the management, and second is, you have parents who have very high expectations. They think their children are next to Einstein, and even the children with learning disability, you have to make them get good results, which is like impossible to do, and so much of a strain on your mental health. Then when it comes to exam and performance issues, those are the times where your portions need to be completed, the exam papers need to be checked, and the poor performers have to be given remedial measures, and so on and so forth. It is a never-ending saga of, things to achieve year after year. And another thing which causes stress is the way the attitude of students is changing. So how many of you are on with me in this, that nowadays children don't give as much respect as earlier? Yes, I got a hand. I got only two hands. Yeah. Yes. So it is true, that you're doing something to, you've prepared your lesson, you've gone there, you want to do a good job, and you're already dressed up, and you want to, you know, basically you want to teach them something, and then you have people yawning, looking at their phone, nudging at each other, maybe slouching in their seat. It's such a big turn off. So many times I feel that if the students were more receptive, even if they were just looking at me and hearing, even if they didn't answer any question, that would be fine. But some of my stress really comes from the way they behave when I'm doing a class. Next slide. So, how to promote mental health and how to control your stress and how to be mentally happy. First and the most important thing that we should do is, plan your day. So, if you don't plan your day will run you, and you will not be able to run it. So, plan your day. Second is no compromise for not eating healthy. So if you're going to eat junk food, if you're going to eat pizza, pasta, obviously you're going to have stomach issues. So you have to eat well and eat healthy. You have to eat your vegetables. You have to have roughage in your diet. You have to have your proteins. Exercise regularly. Okay. What I see in a lot of people is nowadays people we have a sedentary lifestyle and we do not exercise. So that becomes a very detrimental factor, not only for our mental health but also for our physical health. So we must exercise 30 minutes per day, 5 days in a week. It's compulsory. If you play a sport, then you don't need to exercise. Rest and recreation. Somebody the other day was telling me that, we don't rest adequately because of the mobile. We are always on the phone. This thing is always next to me. So we need to divide our days into 3 parts, 8, 8, 8. 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work, and the rest 8 hours I do the things which I like, including my hobbies. So that's how you plan your day. Another thing is which has really helps to keep yourself, mentally happy is to help others. So nowadays we are all see self love is the first love, okay, taken, but we need to help somebody. So if you're able to help anybody every day, even in the smallest of manner, I think you will sleep happier. It could be something very simple, like helping somebody carry something which is heavy, or dropping somebody home who's like little stranded. So small things really go a long way in keeping you happy. Next is to focus the things that you can control on and not on the things that is not in your hands. Many times I tell this to students. You have written your paper. Now don't think about what the result will be. Because that is not in your hands. So we should focus on what we can do and not on what we cannot. Another one is to identify and rectify self-defeating thinking. I failed this exam. I am a failure. I didn't do this thing right. I am not good. So one incident doesn't make you a failure. And one of the most important things that I've learned after graying my hairs is probably to, if I forgive, it is for my mental peace and not for the other person. So just let go. No, none of us are here in this world permanently. Next slide. So when we spoke about mental health and how to promote mental health and how to generally have a happy life, we should not ignore the red flags in which we may have to take help of a professional. So when we feel that our stress has begun to affect our physical health, then we get up in the morning saying, "Oh, why did this day happen?" Or feeling like just running away. I don't want to go there. I just want to run away. Feeling so sad and weepy all the time. And then stress starts affecting your sleep and appetite. These are biological functions. So if they're getting affected means the neurochemicals in the body are beginning to get affected. And when you're self-medicating with alcohol and drugs, obviously mental health is getting affected somewhere. And if you're not happy, always on the edge, always worrying, not relaxed, take professional help. There is nothing detrimental. There is nothing to be ashamed of. Next slide. So this story actually sounds better if I was in person in front of you. But then anyway, let me try. This is the first time I'm trying to do it online. So how many of you are good at imagining things? Like if I tell you to imagine a story, you'll be able to imagine. Only one person, two people. That's it. Three. Okay. So for three of you. Okay. So yeah. All right. So in this particular village, there was this farmer. Right? So he had this very precious watch, which by mistake slipped and fell off from his hand. And then there was stacks of hay everywhere, and this guy searched hither and thither and everywhere, and he was not able to find where this thing was. Then he called a lot of workers around. I said, "Please, you find this for me. If I get it, I'll give you some cash." So all of them got very enthusiastic, and they went and they looked around and everything. A wise old man was there. After everybody left, he said, "Just give me 5 minutes alone here. I will find out." This farmer said, "Ah, you also try." So this man went there, sat there for 5 minutes, and came back with a watch. What do you think happened? Who will tell? Can somebody tell? How was he able to find when the other people, so many people tried, they never did. And this man went alone, sat alone quietly, and got the watch. Who will answer? Shall I only answer?
I think he just listened.
Yeah. Yes, Rita. Yeah, my question was,
He
yeah, tell me.
yeah, yeah, ma'am. I think he just listened the tick tick sound
Correct. So he was
calmly.
able to hear the ticking of the clock only when there was silence. So sometimes we are so stressed and we are running around like crazy, and only when we silence our mind can we really come to solutions. So in this bhagadod of this world that we are in nowadays, just take it easy. At least give 10 minutes to just sit down and process the things around you. Deep breaths, and you'll be able to solve a lot of your problems. Thank you. Next slide. So when I talk about positive mental health, I always talk about how to be happy. So for all the people who are here today, I would like you to share with me how you keep yourself happy. So anybody can raise a hand and answer. Anybody. For example, when I yeah. So Mr. Amar said that when he listens to music, he feels happy. Excellent. Anybody else? I'm not able to get the chat setting. You can just tell it loud if I'm not reading it for you. The last time I pressed a button, I got logged out, so I'm afraid to touch my screen also. So some people listen to music and they feel happy. Some people chat with friends, like Asha says that when she chats with friends, she feels happy. Then food can be comforting. So when I eat chocolate ice cream, I feel happy. Then exercise, yes. So Nishita says exercise. Exercise is something which is beautiful to make you happy. Sleep is an excellent way to get things. Traveling helps you. Being with good people helps. Okay. Traveling, even if it is short or long, it does help. Actually, when you travel, you realize, you're a small speck in the universe. You must be thinking you're important. Like I'm important. But no, when you travel, you realize you're just one chota kira somewhere in the entire universe. It helps make things not take yourself seriously. Shopping, Mamata, shopping makes you happy. So it's like, shopping, they call it retail therapy for a reason. So what else makes you happy? So enjoying in the moment, it's called as mindfulness. So if you're present in this moment, well, and you will be a happy person. So all of us gave so many beautiful suggestions on what makes you happy. Hmm? So don't forget to do that. So whatever makes you happy, do that. If you like being animals, like Kirtana said, do that. Hmm? And it will really promote your mental health like nobody else's business. Next slide. I'm at the end of my presentation. I didn't realize. I have actually another half an hour to go. So we can have a discussion actually. Any questions you would like to ask me? Anything that you had, regarding your work, regarding your students, anything that around you, your friends, anything that I can be of help. Okay, I will ask you questions. What is the most gratifying thing about being a teacher? I teach medical undergraduates and I teach postgraduates mainly in psychiatry. What is the most gratifying thing to you about being a teacher? Yeah. When you see your students in good position, that is very gratifying. What else? See, I feel that, I don't know whether a lot of us think that way, but I feel that, somewhere you are contributing to develop a person's personality. So somewhere, especially if you're teaching younger kids, especially, I feel you're contributing greatly to how that kid develops. Because the child is spending so much time in school, even in college, most of the personality is formed, but still, they're spending so much time in college that you are contributing in some way to the way the person thinks and processes things. That can be very gratifying. Yeah. So when children appreciate us, that their teaching has inspired us in some way, when they come back after years and they remember you, and when children message us even after they have left college that they remembered us because of a thing. Even on Teachers Day, if some kid calls me and tells Happy Teachers Day, that made my day. So as a teacher, I think all these things do matter. It does matter. So we discussed a lot about positive mental health, about how we handle stress, how we identify stress, how we have a good lifestyle. What are the things particularly to teachers which can cause stress? So anything in your profession that we can have a discussion on, which could be stressing you out and or hampering your mental health. Is there anything that you wanted to discuss? Stress in the workplace. So I feel having stress at workplace can be because of various reasons. One is it could be reasons pertaining to the work. It could be or the nature of the work. It could be pertaining to our expectation from the workplace. It could be also pertaining to people at workplace. So what I have seen is people most of the times, if it's the nature of the work, we need to change the way we are doing our work. Like for example, if my same teaching the same thing again and again and again and again really bores me out and I start becoming a bad teacher. Like we had discussed, we need to innovate, we need to do new things, we need to get new information and teach differently to feel better. Second is, if it is, why am I here kind of situation, then you need to really think as to what I can do to make my things better. If it is people around you who are stressing you out, then it becomes a more diplomatic thing to handle. So one of the concepts in psychiatry is that, I'll have to explain it a little to you. In schizophrenia, what happens is if you stay with a person who's constantly criticizing you and constantly putting you down, the chances of relapse becomes more. So what we tell the family members is to distance the patient from the person who's criticizing them so much or very hostile towards them. So what can be done is, if you have a particular person who's very toxic and you feel that talking to them really causes you a lot of pain, so you can restrict the interaction to as much as barely required to function normally. Not to go out of the way socializing with that person and being nice to that person and things like that. So probably at workplace you can try this, but I won't say you can generalize it. It has to be on case to case basis. Any other things that we wanted to discuss about promoting mental health?
I got a question, Asad.
Yes, ma'am.
In one of the slides, you have mentioned that teachers get sandwiched between parents and management.
Yeah.
But at times, situation puts us in such a situation that we get stuck between the students and the management itself.
Okay.
Somewhere science says that what the students are telling is right. There's nothing wrong in what they're telling. But on the other side, if we go against the will of the management, our job is at stake. So at this juncture, when our conscience says that what the other one is telling right, but you
Hmm.
cannot take a step against it, what do we do at this moment?
These things happen all the time, ma'am, where you might want to side with a student, and you're appointment directives prohibit you from doing that. So it's a very challenging and frustrating situation. You will have to take it very diplomatically, because at work, we all sign a contract in which we are supposed to, follow the rules of the institution. So even if you feel that things are not going as per what you would like to, diplomatically you have to handle the situation. You can't act out. When I was younger, I would also feel very infuriated by these things. But then as I have aged and I've realized that these systems are in place for a reason, and probably we have to tackle it very diplomatically without ruffling feathers, and without antagonizing neither the student or the management.
Thank you, ma'am.
If any other questions are there, I request the participants to ask the questions. You can put it in the chat box or also raise your hand and put the questions in the chat box as well. Same goes to the YouTube viewers. You can put the questions in the chat box. If there are no questions, shall we wind up?
I have something to say.
Sure, madam.
So when I was called to take the session online, I was very skeptical, because during COVID time we took so many sessions online, and most of the children, they were children because we were taking classes, they were dozing off or they were logging off, and then when I asked questions, nobody answered. So today when I was asking questions, I was actually pleasantly surprised to see so many people answering back. So that was very heartwarming. So thank you, everybody. And I would like to meet you in person as well. So sometimes in college, if there's a program like that, in person also, I would like to come.
Yes, the MC can start the closing program.
Thank you, ma'am. So we have come to the end of the informative session. I request Ms. Pressy Pinto, Farmers, to put forward her words of gratitude.
Good evening, everyone. As we draw this faculty development program to a close, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and everyone.
Ma'am, you are not audible. Trusty ma'am, you are not audible.
Good evening, everyone. As we draw this faculty development program to a close, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who have participated and contributed to its success. I would like to extend our deepest appreciation to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Supriya Hegde, for sharing your knowledge, expertise, and insights with us. Thank you, ma'am. I would also like to
Thank
thank
you.
our principal, Father Michael Santomayor, for your continuous support and encouragement. To all the participants, thank you for your active engagement, thoughtful contribution, and enthusiasm. Your eagerness to learn and collaborate has truly made this FDP a rewarding experience for everyone involved. Last but not the least, I also want to thank the organizing committee, that is Ms. Chetna, IQAC coordinator, technical committee, Mr. Denzel DeCosta, for their meticulous planning, seamless execution, ensuring that everything ran smoothly throughout the 5 days faculty development program. As we leave here today, let us carry forward the knowledge and inspiration gained from this program into our respective field, striving for excellence and continuous improvement. Thank you once again, and we look forward to your future opportunities to learn and grow together. Thank you.
Thank you. I will log out. Thank you. Thank you.
One more thing, participants, certificates will be issued within 5 days. So after filling the feedback form, so certificate will be issued within 5 days. Thank you.